What are business models for? The key idea behind the business model is how does a firm capture value and monetize the result? This is a very important question for many people, in particular for the venture capitalists or the angel backers of the firm, for the suppliers who want to know whether they're going to get paid, for the employees who want to know whether their wages will get paid, and for many other people besides. And this concept of what is your business model became very prominent at the beginning of our millennium, when lots of firms got started with great ideas, especially those using the digital platforms on the internet, with no apparent means of paying back the money that they borrowed. So what are the critical business models? Well, the three basic ones that have been around for a long time. The first is the pipeline business model associated with firms like McDonald's or Ford, which is that you make a product and you sell it and the customer pays for it. The second one is the solutions business model associated with consulting firms, law firms, people like hairdressers, where you actually engage with the customer dynamically and co-create the experience which the customer wants. The fun haircut, the consulting project that answers your problem, the law firm that engages you with your problem and helps you find the solution. And the third one has been around for a long time, which is the marketplace or the auction house. Indeed, all of these business models have been around for centuries. And there's one more business model type, which has come into its own in this millennium, and that is the multi-sided platform. Before then, it was known as a newspaper, where on the one hand, you had the reader paying for the cost of the newspaper, and you also had advertisers contributing to the cost of making the newspaper. Now, in the digital world, these are platforms like Facebook, which are supported by advertising. But there's another use of the word business model, which is used by many people, particularly corporate executives, which is to describe my business in much more detail than these four basic types. Thus it is we see in an annual report or a 10K report or in some kind of presentation, a manager saying, what is my business model, explaining how the firm organizes suppliers, how it organizes its workers, in what way it engages with its customers, its means of production, a much richer story than those four basic types. The value of these descriptors is that they're very nuanced and tell you what's going on. The difficulty is the implications are not so obvious. Thus it is we have a third kind of business model, which is the ideal types. People say, what is your business model? To which the answer might be, I'm like Amazon, which means I'm a sort of online reseller. Or I'm like Google, which means I run a multi-sided platform. These references to famous companies is not a reference to the complexity of today's Google, which involves mobile phones, making of chips of huge vertically integrated empire, but rather some stripped down descriptor of what is the core. And one of the really important issues and features behind these exemplary business model types is that they all basically conform to the first four basic types: pipeline, solutions, matchmaker, or multi-sided.